What's up, everyone? It's Jenks here, founder of Queers and Steers. It's been a minute. It's really hard to be consistent, and also it's really tough to just be motivated in the midst of everything that's going on in the world. I have a full-time job that I just wrapped up. I worked a 10-hour day, so I am delirious. I'm tired, I need to eat dinner, but considering I just unwrapped the new iPhone 15 Pro Max, I thought that I would just open it here. I need to put this totally screen protector on it as well. I just thought that we should catch up on life because in addition to this new phone, a lot in my life has changed as well. So if you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe. If this is your first time here, welcome. I am the resident homosexual of this channel. Nice to meet you. I love electric cars and electric vehicle, just automotive culture. I currently drive a 2021 launch edition Polestar 2, which I've been driving for almost 3 years. In fact, my 36-month lease ends in a few months at the end of December. I intend to share my plans for my next vehicle later on in the video. Stay tuned for that. I'm also a huge Apple fanboy. I have to say it. I mean, I love all things technology. I've owned a BlackBerry. I've owned every iteration of Sidekick. Oh, I miss the Sidekick. Ever since I got my first iPhone, I've upgraded, I think, every year since the iPhone 4. So I'm excited to trade in my iPhone 14 Pro Max, which I'm recording on, to open up and start using this iPhone 15 Pro Max in natural titanium. Just a life update. So gosh, there's so much that I can cover and my mind is a blur. I need to take a nap and eat dinner. I've lived in LA for the last 5 years. There was a lot of beauty that came out of being there. I love the food, I love the weather, but I think now being in my mid-30s, I'm gonna be 35 next year, and I had moved to LA when I was 28. I feel as if it was time for me to move on. It's really expensive to own a house or own property there. I never thought that I would be the kind of person who wanted to buy a single family home, but after some tough consideration and what I can describe as a somewhat manic, but also somewhat planned decision, as of July 12th, the day after my birthday, I officially signed and purchased my first home in Atlanta, Georgia. Which is super exciting. If you've never purchased a home, I can give you all the tips that you need. There's plenty. Growing up, we grew up poor, as I've mentioned before on this channel, and so we've always lived in an apartment, specifically Section 8 apartments, which, as you can imagine, aren't the most glamorous. So while my house is 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom, 1,500 square feet, not small by any means, but still humble, I would say, I've never had this much space before. My apartment in LA was 500 square feet, and so now having triple the space, I'm looking around and maybe you can hear I'm sure you can hear how echoey it is. And so there's just a lot I still have to do, but I'm really excited for the journey. I'm excited to be in the South and closer to the East Coast. I still have family in Indiana. I have a lot of friends still in Chicago. So after spending 5 years in LA, there were so many good things out of that, but I think a lot of what the culture revolves around, which is this need to be seen and this need to be in proximity to celebrities, is just something that, sure, admittedly in my 20s, that was exciting. Whereas now that sort of fantasy, which not to say that people can't aspire to those things, that it's not great, because a lot of folks, and especially a lot of my friends, are in the creative realm and in creative industries who worked their asses off their entire lives. I think the working your ass off your entire lives, and if you speak to, I would say a lot of creatives in Los Angeles, I think are coming to this same realization, which is these creative industries that you pour yourself into start to become vapid or start to become toxic in a way that exploits the people doing the work. And so not every industry and not every creative person would say that that's the case. But for me, I just saw LA starting to sort of pull at a lot of people, and financially speaking, like I said, I needed to move across the country to buy a home. A couple of friends of mine, they bought a house that is slightly smaller, also 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, a little bit less space, smaller yard, no driveway to park in. They just paid 3 times what I paid for this place. Again, you're living in LA versus Atlanta, but to my values and my morals, like, Atlanta for me now at 34 is a better place to be. So that's the move. Really excited. I can share more as time goes on. Another thing that I just got through with, I went to Europe for the first time ever. Barcelona, Lisbon, London, Amsterdam, Berlin, Paris, Granada, and Almuñécar, Spain. I was there for 5 weeks. The company I work for gives us a 6-week sabbatical every 4 years that you work for the company. So I just passed my 4-year mark. I spent 5 of those weeks in Europe with a backpack and a duffel bag, just not slumming it. I used some gift cards and other things that I had saved up to book on my hotel. So the flight and the trip and everything itself was affordable in the sense that, like, I used reward points to book a lot of the stays and the flights. And then the 5th week I flew back to LA, had a layover, and then flew right back to Atlanta to essentially unpack all of my shit and my car that had been shipped while I was traveling the world. Europe was incredible. If you've never been, I have a ton of suggestions and recommendations for you. What else is there to talk about? The Polestar, the Polestar, the Polestar. When I returned from Europe, I hopped in the car. I was so excited to drive because I fucking love driving and I love my car. So I hop in, I'm accelerating on the on-ramp to get on the highway, and the accelerator power meter, the orange one, grayed out and it wouldn't let me accelerate. It kind of scared me because people in Atlanta can't drive for shit. Put that on record of me saying that. I'm pulling onto the highway trying to merge and I can't accelerate anymore. So I lifted off the accelerator, gave it time, like it could still brake regen fine, and then it would kind of snap itself out of it. So that consistently was happening for maybe a week or so. And I was hoping, oh, maybe it's just from the car sitting for too long. I'm just gonna give it some time and see if it fixes itself. It slowly felt like it was getting worse. Nothing, no noises, nothing happening. And so I'm finally on the last day, I'm like, I need to take this into a space to get fixed. No, it started making noises in addition to not accelerating and losing power and then kicking back in and working fine. So I had the car towed to a Dyer & Dyer Volvo here in the suburbs of Atlanta because I just didn't feel safe driving it. Long story short, the repairs would have cost me $10,000, upwards of $10,000 were it not under warranty.
Oh, hell no.
There's plenty to share with that experience, but as you'll notice, I'm kind of hitting a few things and touching on a few things and not diving too deep into them, which I will talk about why later on in the video. But we have the iPhone here, so I'm gonna open this thing up and just kind of get it started, and I'm just gonna chat a little with you all before I wrap up. I really just wanted to kind of update everyone and say hello on what was happening in my life. So you're gonna be the first. I'm gonna open this up. This is a 256 gigabyte version 15 Pro Max with the natural titanium. The phone on which I'm filming right now is 512 gigabytes. I also had 512 gigabytes purchased on the 13 Pro Max, I believe. And to be honest with you, I don't need that much space. I'm worried because I was nervous to buy the 256 because I know that it's higher capacity. The photos taken are 24 megapixels as opposed to 12. It can also shoot in 4K, 60 ProRes, which I don't shoot in ProRes, as you can probably tell. I don't intend to shoot ProRes, but I had so much anxiety downgrading storage to this that like I was losing sleep over it, frankly, because I didn't want to buy the wrong one. But I started offloading some apps. Let me start opening this as I'm talking. Started offloading some apps and noticing that in my 2 terabyte of iCloud storage, I have over a terabyte left, and I have all of the settings enabled to optimize storage. So because I upgrade every year anyway, I'm hoping that 256 will be enough to get me by until the 16 Pro Max comes out, at which time I can recalibrate on whether or not I need 512 gigs of storage. And I've been paying Apple $200 per year for this extra storage that frankly I haven't needed. So Apple, no fuck right off. Oh my gosh, it's beautiful. Gorgeous. The first thing I want to do though is look at the edges. So I've been looking at folks' videos and photos online, and there are lots of instances where the titanium looks incomplete or is discolored. And so I just want to make sure that mine looks solid, which it does. I mean, I'm already seeing, like, I just washed my hands before starting, and I'm getting clammy because I'm nervous and haven't been on camera in a long time, but I'm hoping that this thing is on the camera. Yeah, we're good. We're good. It looks gorgeous. I'm not gonna take this off yet. I have the screen protector here. I'm gonna put the screen protector on camera, but I'm a little obsessive compulsive, and so I don't wanna take off this sticker on the front until I have the screen protector ready. But overall, it feels so much lighter. Like, I know people have been saying this, and it's only what, 19 grams, I believe, difference from the 14 Pro Max, but oh my gosh. I think Mac Rumors had a story about how I forget what it's called, but just the physics of how the weight is now distributed throughout the titanium chassis and everything else, in addition to the 19 grams lighter here, just makes for such a better feel. Oh my God! It feels fucking incredible. It really does. And this is the first time, maybe not in my life, but the first time in a long time where I intend to not have a case on this thing. We always buy phones and then we put a case on it, and I want to be able to feel and experience this phone and its beauty without having a case. I purchase Apple Care in full every year on every device I've ever owned, and so that's gonna be the case. Oh, hot tip, if you're gonna watch the video for anything, watch it for this. When you purchase Apple Care in full, if you then trade in your phone or you get rid of it and buy a new phone before the 2 years or however long the Apple Care is up, you can call Apple support or email, whatever, chat. Usually they make you call for this. Call Apple support. They will cancel your Apple Care on your current device and refund you for the prorated difference. So I just did that yesterday. I could have done it whenever, doesn't matter, but I did it yesterday and I'm getting, $98 back. So basically half of $199, because I've owned the Pro Max for a year now, and $98 is half of $199. Math. So if you never cancel your paid in full Apple Care, when you upgrade to a new device, you can do that and get some money back. So if you didn't know that tip, now you know. If I just saved you some money, I will include my Venmo below so you can pay me for getting you your money back. You're welcome. In the box, we have what is expected, a little sliver of whatever. You got a sticker. I don't know what to do with these anymore. Maybe I'll put this on my new MacBook Pro M2 that I just bought, or I'm not gonna put it on my car. Do people put stickers on their car anymore? I don't know. This little insert, I never look at this shit, don't really care. And we have this gorgeous new USB-C to USB-C braided cable. It feels premium. I wish that it would come in black. Like, I get that the white accessories is very much Apple's thing, but I don't know. I just like having black, and maybe black, like, I get it, like, white stands out. It's quintessentially Apple. Gosh, the braided cable is so nice. Like, it doesn't, it's just so loose. It's so loose. There are no kinks in it, and when you let it go, it's just like, gorgeous, love this. I've been thinking a lot about how the port is now USB-C, it isn't Lightning, and it's so simple, right? People who are Android fan boys and girls and they, thems are so quick to be like, man, Apple's so late and they're rude. I get it. Apple does what Apple does. Of course, they're gonna stick to proprietary Lightning while they can still make money off of it. I love that the EU is essentially forcing them out of that. I'm all about competition, though I think some people make too big of a deal of Apple wanting to keep people in their ecosystem. Carl, CEO of Nothing, love you, love your phones, but also like, just let it go. Just focus on Nothing. Nothing is a great phone, like focus on that. I think people make a big deal out of Apple coming late to the game with this, but I'm also just super stoked to not have to think about it. Like, if I'm at a friend's house and they have Android, I can just plug my phone into their charger and not have to like carry a Lightning cable around with me. I'm sure there will be other benefits that I pay attention to and identify and notice. Like the gimbal that I'm using is the Insta360 Flow. I can literally just take this cable with me and charge the Flow. I can charge my phone. I can charge my phone through the Flow and not have to have the lightning accessory. I could just use the USB-C to USB-C cable that comes with it. So many perks of USB-C in this new phone. I'm just really excited to experience that. I'm ready to put on the screen protector, so I'm just gonna like do that on camera, and hopefully I don't stress myself out about it and fuck it up. I don't think I'm gonna fuck it up. Wish me luck. So it comes with an alcohol prep pad, but I feel like I don't, like there's already a sticker on the front, so I feel like what I usually do is just like quickly take this sticker off and then put this on. So I'm not gonna breathe as I'm doing this. Oh, and I know I said that I'm not gonna have a case on my phone. The one thing that I will always commit to is one, Totally's screen protectors, because they last for freaking ever. They're so durable. I've had the Totally screen protector on my 14 Pro Max for a year. It hasn't bubbled, it hasn't lifted, it hasn't shifted. Maybe I just put it on immaculately because I'm generally pretty good at this, but I stand by these screen protectors from Totally. This isn't sponsored, I'm just telling you like it is. They're like 36 or 39 bucks. I don't like how the screen of iPhones, no matter what, the ceramic shield, always gets little micro scratches from keys, or even if I just put it in my pocket, a clean pocket for a day and I pull it out, I can notice the little micro scratches in the screen. Whereas with this glass, I can look at it from different angles and it is beautiful. Even after a year now, like my screen protector is beautiful. But if the screen protector ever does get scratched, I don't care because it's the screen protector. So enough about that. Shh, be quiet. I think I did a decent job. Oh, I'm so good. I think I'm so good.
Huh. I keep hearing, oh. Oh my gosh. Oh.
Okay, I think that was great. So let me take this little doohickey cloth. Oh my God, it looks so good. I don't know if you can see that. I hope you can. Again, there's air bubbles, but there aren't dust speck bubbles in there. So those will settle within a few hours or a few days, but oh my God. First and foremost, I'm immaculate at putting on screen protectors. And second of all, this feels fantastic. Holy fuck. I think I read on Mac Rumors today, love Mac Rumors, although you need some more diversity and people of color specifically on your podcast and writing articles and freelancing for you, but that's another story. Mac Rumors posted that this needs to be updated out of the box to 7.0.2 because if not, me trying to migrate all my shit here through iCloud to this will error and not work. So I'm going to turn this on and work on the migration. I'm gonna wrap up this video to play around with my new toy. I really just wanted to come on here and update you on all the changes in my life. I moved away from LA after 5 years. I moved to Atlanta, bought my first home. I traveled Europe for 5 weeks, which, by the way, I have oily, acne-prone skin. And to be honest with you, a lot of the reason why there are so many gaps in my videos, just to be transparent, is sometimes I feel insecure and get dysmorphia and don't want to stare at myself on video and having to edit myself and look at myself for hours upon hours upon hours. So I'm trying to get over these insecurities and the dysmorphia that I have sometimes to bring content, because I really do love doing this stuff. I love tech. I love talking to you and sharing ideas and just being vulnerable and having these intimate conversations. But also, like, I would love to be the next MKBHD and like fucking quit my day job and do tech and automotive reviews for the rest of my life. Like, that would be pristine, ideal. Would love that for me. The reason why I've been sprinkling things and updates about my life in this video and not diving too deep into them is because I want you to tell me what you want the next video to be. Do you want to hear about the home buying process? Do you want me to review this 15 Pro Max and tell you my thoughts? Do you want me to talk about Apple as a whole? Again, considering I worked there for 5 years, I have a lot of Apple insights and experience. I also have worked in customer support management for a technology company for the past 7 years. If you include Apple, it would be the last 12 years. So I am very well versed on technology and where it's been, where we're at, and where it's going. And so if you want to hear more about my thoughts on Apple or particularly this phone, I'm happy to do that. Now that I have a home, I've been trying to invest in smart products and home products and home kit products. So I have the ecobee thermostat over here to my right. I have the ecobee security system and sensors. I can do a review of that. I just bought a new Samsung smart latest and greatest washer and dryer. I can do a review of that. I can talk about my trip to Europe. I can talk about skincare. I mean, I'm breaking out right now because of stress and lack of sleep, but oh my God, in Europe, my oily, acne-prone skin, I didn't have one, not only did I not have a breakout, I didn't have like a pimple for 5 weeks. 5 weeks. And I've got one here, I've got some coming here, and they've been pretty persistent lately. Oh my God, that was like honestly the most beautiful thing about Europe is like my skin looked better than it has in like a decade. And I'm sure there's a lot attributed to that. If you want to hear about Europe and that, I can talk about that. If you want me to talk about skincare, my skincare routine, that's, despite me breaking out recently, it's been really solid and I found a good product. So tell me in the comments below what my next video should be. iPhone 15 Pro Max review, ecobee thermostat or smart security, smart home products, buying my first home, the differences between LA and Atlanta, skincare, my trip to Europe. I think those are all of the options. If I forgot one, I'll just put it as text below. All right, y'all, I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. I'm gonna set up my new phone. Oh, God, even just having a battery capacity at 100% again, because my iPhone 14 Pro Max phone capacity is not at 100%. If you want me to make an iPhone video, I'll tell you what it is in that video, but you gotta tell me. Okay, love you, bye homosexuals and homosexual adjacents.